Welcome to the Jersey Nerds Podcast, your home for debates and discussions surrounding sports uniforms, hockey jersey design, and more. It's just me. We were going to have a guest, or not guest, but one of the other nerds was going to join, but then life happened. So we're trying a solo episode. We'll see how this goes. I'm not confident. But yeah, we got a pretty light news. We got the PWHL and the new Stadium Series for this year logos. Other than that, we're just going to be answering a bunch of mailbag questions, which means I get to subjugate you to my terrible takes because I don't really know what else to do when it's just me. So before we get into that, though, we should probably go over what's on my body. If by what's on my body, I mean the jersey I'm wearing. I am wearing the Winnipeg Jets away jersey. Patrick Laine on it and on the back. Just I don't know. Felt like pulling this out of my closet today. I haven't worn it in a while. It's Patrick Laine. He's a Blue Jacket. That's actually one of the strategies I have when trying to buy jerseys is to you go after recently traded players, because what people will do is they're like, oh, this guy's no longer on my team, I don't want his jersey, and they'll just sell it on eBay for like $50. And guess what? You can then get a jersey for $50. And in my case, you can get a Blue Jackets jersey for $50. But by Blue Jackets jersey, it's a new Blue Jackets player instead of a Blue Jackets jersey. But it's a non-Blue Jackets jersey, but it's a Blue Jackets player. And that's fun. So yeah, let's get into things. Let's just go by chronological order. We're going to talk about the Professional Women's Hockey League and their logo first. It's pretty basic. It's just a like W, but like the middle is a pair of hockey sticks. And that's pretty much it. There's a puck in the middle. It also has a word mark version that I'm not super sold on, but it's fine. It's a bit basic for my taste. I don't like the fact that outside of the word mark, there isn't like anything unifying it, you know? It's just kind of a bunch of shapes. It looks more like some type of sportswear company logo than a like sports league logo, which I mean, it's fine if you're going for like a modern minimalist thing. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like putting that in some type of shield or a roundel of some type would have helped. I get that there's value also of just being able to slap the logo between the P and the HL. But I don't know. I mean, there isn't really much else to say about it. Like, it's just a P, and not even a P. Fuck, it's a W. God, the cool thing about doing a solo episode, I'm realizing, is that if I stumble over my words, there's no one to save me. I have to just be talking constantly for the next 30 minutes minimum. So that'll be fun, and you get subjugated to it. You're welcome. But yeah. I mean, I don't even really know what to elaborate on it. It's fine. The purple color is interesting. It's nice because purple isn't really a super featured color outside of like the Lakers and the Vikings. Makes more sense for women's sport, I guess, because it's typically associated with women for some reason. I don't know. Gender roles are weird, man. But I don't know. I like it. I like the shade of purple. But other than that, it's just kind of a logo. I would have tried to make the strokes of the extra W strokes coming up the sides. I would try to make those closer to the sticks width, but I also can see the value of like having that be distinct. I don't know. I'm still not sold on it, to be honest. It's kind of a bit too simple for my tastes. But yeah. And then the other piece of news is the NHL unveiled their Stadium Series logo for this year, which is again fine. I like the change up with the series font being different, being more of a graffiti style, and I like the basic idea of the logo. But 2024. Sorry, I should have pulled up reference images before I started, but I didn't. The typography of it is very good. Outside of that, it's I don't know. I'm not sold on it. I I like I like the font choices. Like I said, I think the series being a unique graffiti-ish style is cool. I like the stadium's like facade, I guess. Is that the word for it? Sure. Um, Being depicted in the background. I think that's something that the early Stadium Series logos did really well that I really liked, and it's cool seeing that kind of come back. Even actually, the game at Navy kind of did that too, right? Or am I going crazy? Either way, uh, yeah. I think the one thing is that it's definitely very Devils centric, which makes sense because like they are one of the host teams. But that's the thing. There's 2 games this year. There's Devils Flyers and there's Islanders Rangers. Um, so like having it be black, white, and red and green like makes it very Devils. Um, which like outside and like even having the state outline of New Jersey in there again, I get it because it's in New Jersey. And it's nice actually seeing that like being acknowledged because I know that this is where the Jets and Giants play, and they both try to brand themselves as New York teams, even though they're in play in New Jersey. Uh, but I don't know. I think that having uh, it still seems a bit too devil centric. I would try to tone that back a bit. Um, but yeah, we got. I mean, beyond that, it's a technically excellent logo. Everything works together really well. It's just it's a bit too Devils Eve because the Devils are only a quarter of the teams and they're half of the host teams. Um, so I don't know. I'd have liked it to be a bit more neutral, but like that's really my only complaint. I've seen a lot of people complaining about the series font and how that breaks from tradition, but like I really like that. It's modern, it's fun. Uh, it definitely it fits the vibe of the Stadium Series with it being a more edgy, modern style game. Uh, so yeah, I guess one other thing I'm noticing too is that I don't know how this is going to look without the Navy Federal thing because it's an outline of New Jersey, and typically they just kind of like rearrange things slightly to make that work. I don't know if that's going to work in this case because you can't really make the word series bigger, and you can't do 2024 New Jersey. You can't really make that fill that negative space that well if you like if you just throw 2024 in there and stretch out to New Jersey, that's going to look weird. I think. Um, and I don't know how much we want to be fucking around with the state outline in terms of like warping it to make it look better. So I guess that'll be interesting. I don't know if I've seen. Let me see. Let me pull up the sports logos article real quick just to see if they have the non-sponsored version. Vamping while my internet decides to internet. We'll see if the internet decides to internet. But and it's not. So we're just gonna assume it'll work because the NHL typically for their event logos, aside from Toronto's All-Star Game logo this year, they really haven't missed one in a while, if you ask me. So it'll be fine. Um, so yeah, I guess one thing I could do real quick is compare the two. I like the Stadium Series one better. That's it. I mean, the PWHL logo, I think, is a strong concept. I think could use a bit more fleshing out, but also this is their first season. They had maybe a couple months to flip this over. So I don't really blame them. It's going to be interesting to see how the PWHL handles team brands. I've heard rumors that they're just going to be called, like, outside of it, they're always going to have, like, the diagonal text and the same striping on, like, a template this year. I don't know if that's true. But I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, now we're going to get into your mailbag questions. Thank you for asking these mailbag questions. This is probably going to be a shorter episode just based on the pace that this is going and the fact that it's just me vamping, which is not something I'm really used to doing. I've been on a lot of podcasts, but I've never been on one by myself. So it feels weird. But it's also kind of fun because, like, you know, it's almost like more of a conversation like that includes the audience instead of you guys listening in on our conversations. Even though, no matter what, like, what I say isn't going to change once I finish editing this. But your guys' reactions can change, and you can blame me specifically. Alrighty. Let's get this started. So the first batch of questions are going to be from the Jersey Nerds Discord. You can join the Jersey Nerds Discord. Wow, my English is really struggling. By clicking the link down in here in this corner or this corner, depending on if the video reflects or not. We'll see. It's been bubbling through every 3 minutes or so. So next time you see it, you can't really click on it, but, like, admire it and then enter it into your search bar and then go there and be free. Or not. You have free will. So anywho, question time. Mailbag. That's a reference that you old OGs will understand. Is this really cringy, me just vamping that? Who knows? So the first question comes from the lovely TJ. Are mashed potatoes just Irish guacamole? TJ, this question fills me with just inexpressible rage. Every time I try to think of a reason why your statement is false, because your statement should be false, I fail. And that seems morally wrong to me. Yet, I don't know. I guess the one difference is that guacamole is a spread, while mashed potatoes are a side dish of their own. So, I'm gonna go with kinda, but, like, I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And that's legitimately true. I like mashed potatoes. I do not like guacamole. Fun fact about me. We're learning here. Well, you are learning. I already knew that because it's my brain. And then this started a torrent of questions in a similar vein. Is lemonade juice? Objectively, yes. Very sugary juice, but juice nonetheless. Is ketchup a smoothie? Objectively, no. It's a sauce. What the fuck, Will? What color is a tennis ball? Yellow. It is a bright yellow, but it is yellow. And center or corner? What? Like, do you mean like in a pan of brownies? Because if that's the answer, the correct answer is side. Because you still get the crust, but it's not like overpowering the ratio. But it's also not has zero structural integrity like a center does. Now, note that depends on how good your batch of brownies are. But a perfect brownie thing is a 4x4 grid. You get 4 corners, 4 centers, and 8 edge pieces, which just makes everyone happy. And by everyone, I mean me, because I like brownies. So now that that's done with, we can get to the actual design questions, which is what you came here for. Um, Justin, fellow Jersey nerd, asks, "What's the most meh jersey in the NHL? A jersey that fills you with nothing, no joy, no hatred." Which a couple people actually answered in the questions thread, so I'm going to go through those and just kind of like give you my thoughts on it. The Colorado Avalanche alt from TJ, I think, is a very good take for this one, because like it's fine, but like that's it. Like the one thing is that the maroon and navy are too close in shade, so that it looks weird. But like aside from that, like I don't really have a lot of gripes with it. But it also isn't something like I would say I'm a fan of. Like if they dropped it, I honestly wouldn't give a crap. They might have actually already dropped it. Now that I think about it, don't remember seeing that jersey in a while. Saint Chris number 2 said Columbus's home and away set. For those who don't know, I'm a Blue Jackets fan, hence the Lion A spiel earlier. And this is almost the exact opposite for me because I hate those jerseys so much. I want us to get new jerseys so bad. But I mean, they're also kind of the Blue Jackets jerseys, and they're my favorite team. So like, they bring back a lot of good memories of us sweeping Tampa, going to games. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna miss them when like the team hopefully soon gets new jerseys. But I mean, I'm not gonna be super mad if like they don't. So well, I will be super mad if they don't, but like I won't be like they still have a soft spot in my heart, you know, even though they fill me with a lot of rage when I think that we are one of 3 teams with objectively bad jerseys that need to change immediately. New Jersey's primaries, I think, is another good answer. Winnipeg's home and away is another good answer. There's a lot of jerseys in the middle of the pack where it's like, these are fine. Like, I can see a bunch of obvious improvements to them. But off the top of my head, like, they're all like, yeah, but like, they're also not terrible. I think the Flyers' new home and road jerseys are actually kind of in that category for me, where it's like, they're objectively real good jerseys. It's just that we had even better jerseys. So I guess it's almost the opposite of the Blue Jackets for me, where it's like, I respect these jerseys. It's just, no, actually, I don't respect these jerseys. I can acknowledge these jerseys are good. It's just that they then, like, they had better jerseys, man. So, a couple more from Justin. The Islanders home and road set. I think that's fair, especially the away. I like the home more because, I don't know, the away kind of leans on having orange being the main color, because it goes orange fill, blue stripe instead of orange stripe, blue fill. So that's fair. St. Louis's home and away, I vehemently disagree with. Those are a top like 4 set in the NHL, and the people who want to switch to the Heritage full time drive me crazy. Noted, I am a sucker for double blue or really double any color scheme. If you were to show me a freaking double orange like team, I would be like all over that. But double blue, double red, double green are all fantastic color schemes, and I don't want the Blues to lose that, because it's so good. Montreal Road, I just don't like in general. The arms are really barren. It's super top heavy, and like just making like taking the 2016 Winter Classic and swapping red for blue, the red and blue back and forth, so it's mainly a red stripe. Like, come on, how is that not your road jersey yet? I know why not transition tradition. Vancouver's black skate alternate, I think, is also an interesting because like, or an interesting case for me specifically. Actually, it might be in this room. The first jersey I ever designed that was actually made. Yeah, it's in the corner over here. Is based basically my high school team was like, we want a third jersey, but it can only be based off of a existing template, and it has to be a single color logo. So this was my solution, was to just take the Canucks skate jersey and do a diagonal word mark with our team name across it. But I'm not super proud of it in retrospect, but like that's the best we could do with the resources. So Vancouver home and away, I disagree with. Those are just those are a very underrated set. I know I think a lot of people are kind of passed on them because they've been around a little while. But like the blue and green looks great together. The away especially is spectacular. I really like it. All right. So that fills up that takes care of the backfill questions we had before I announced we were doing this and needed questions. So now we have actual questions that have been submitted within the last like half hour, 40 minutes or so. Which current set would look the best if pink had to be incorporated in some significant manner? Current jerseys only. Which from Noah. I mean, it depends on what you mean by some significant manner. I'm going to set the bottom threshold for some significant manner as the red in Vegas's set, as that's going to be like you have to have at least that much in it. So like tints on the logo and like a stripe, a very thin stripe. So let's go through this. Anaheim, no. Arizona could almost get away with it depending on the shade, but that feels like cheating. Boston, no. Buffalo, no. Calgary, no. Carolina, no. Colorado, no. Columbus, no. Chicago would be funny punishment, but no. Dallas, no. Detroit, no. Edmonton, no. Florida, I mean, as a Vice jersey, I guess could work. But also, you said current jerseys only, which means it has to go on their home or away somewhere. And the only way I can think of doing that is by replacing the tan in the chest stripe and arm stripes. Which I know I said I like double colors earlier, and like red and pink is technically double colors, but I don't think that would be good, man. All right, so let's keep going. LA could work, but also would be weirdly off theme again because gender roles are weird, and pink is typically a girl color, and they're literally called the Kings. So I don't know. Where were we? Minnesota, no. Montreal, no. Nashville. Ooh. Again, no. You're stuck with current jerseys. That wouldn't work. I was thinking if you take their Reebok jerseys and like use pink somewhere in there, like inside, but no. That I don't think that would look good. New Jersey, no. Islanders, no. Rangers, no. Ottawa, no. I'm just naming every NHL team at this point. Philly, no. Pittsburgh, I don't hate Pittsburgh now that I'm thinking about it. I could see Pittsburgh working well with this. I think yeah, if you made it so that their stripes went yellow fill, black, white, black, pink, or black, pink, black, white, I think that could work. I think yellow, black, and pink might look good together like that. So Pittsburgh, I guess, is my first answer. San Jose could also work, but that would be weird with like it would become very Miami Vicey, and they're in San Jose, which is the opposite side of the country. St. Louis, if you full on replaced yellow with pink, that would look good, I think. I don't think it'd be an improvement. I was trying to visualize whether that would look better than Pittsburgh. I think it might. So I think current leaderboard is St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and then San Jose. Tampa would separate them from Toronto. I don't know. I guess if you just added a thin stripe underneath or something. Toronto, no. Vancouver, no. Vegas could pull it off, but I don't think they need to. Washington, ooh. Washington, if you did a full-on like switch to the like National City Connect style with the dark gray, off-white, and like cherry blossom pink, I think that could work. But that's just a full-on rebrand that feels like cheating. And Winnipeg, I don't think it would work that well. So I guess there's your answer. Would be Pittsburgh number one. St. Louis number one, followed by Pittsburgh, and then San Jose at the 3 spot. All right, next question. You heard me list a bunch of NHL teams again. We're gonna do it again because here's Justin's question. The NHL just hired you to make new jerseys for the Blue Jackets, but there's a catch. Your design is limited to a recolor of another team's existing primary set. What would you choose, and how would you recolor it? A very evil part of me wants to pick the Anaheim Ducks because I feel like in a navy and like trying to recolor the striping, if I could like slightly rearrange the striping so that it emulates the Ohio flag going up the sides more, I think that could work. But I'm gonna stay strict with this. Ooh, another one that's kind of outside the bounds of Justin's question, but I would do if he had worded it differently. Be the 2017 All-Star Game. I love that jersey template so much. I think the long extended yoke would look really good with the Blue Jackets. If you almost took our current yoke design and made it so like the base was navy, upper shoulders are the almost very similar to this blue, the blue on our Canon alternates, and then had white and red trim between, I think that would look sharp. And then the hem, I guess, would just be white. I don't know what you would do with the hem there, but that could be an answer. But anyway, let's go with what he is specifying, which is another team's existing primary set. And thinking about it, I'm just going through the teams in my head very quickly. I think the answer, and this might be kind of a cop-out, would actually be the Boston Bruins, because they are only using this primary set for this 1 year. So after this year, you would then have the striping to yourself. So if you do that and replace black with navy and gold with red, and also maybe try to work in some of the Canon steel blue, because again, sucker for double blue. I think that could work really well. And it would solve a lot of the problem with yellow and white syndrome that I don't like, especially if they're away. So I think that's going to be my answer. I don't even think I need to go through the rest of the teams. I think I would just straight up take Boston Centennial set, because again, after this year, it's gone, and then it's ours. And then it can just be like fall into like the wayside of fun NHL design trivia in like 20 years of like, do you know Blue Jackets got the jerseys that they won 2 Stanley Cups in from the Boston Bruins? And then you would realize that the situation is just a hypothetical because A, I designed it, and B, we won 2 Stanley Cups. So, um, all right. We're going to do this question from Alex next. You score a goalie goal in your beer league. What's your goal song? Um, so that's hard. Because a lot of my songs are either very angsty. Like I'm into like, so my music taste. I think I probably should have tried my music taste to kind of answer this question. I like alternative rock. My favorite band is AJR, which I know is kind of more of like indie pop than alt rock, but aside from AJR, I'm really into alt rock, like the Rex, Cold War Kids, All Time Low, uh, Fallout Boy, Imagine Dragons type stuff. Uh, so, what will my goal song be? Now, the weird thing is that, so I think everyone on the server thinks I'm a goalie, which I've like, I've played. I'm like my team's backup goalie. I play defense, guys. Uh, so because I think that's why he's specifying goalie goal. Because I know I've run into this a couple of times with Alex and Justin especially, and I think also Bepo, where they're like, "Wait, you skate out?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I only play goalie like once or twice a session." But anyways, what would my goal song be? Again, AJR doesn't really work for this because all of their lyrics are like, "Life kind of sucks, but that's fine, and we're gonna go crazy anyway." So AJR almost immediately eliminates all of their things except for maybe like "Burn the House Down," or like "Break My Face." No, even "Break My Face" doesn't really work with it. So I guess "Way Less Sad" would work for it. So then we go to the other bands. Train by Talk, which again is kind of outside the alt rock, but he is kind of like rocks. If you haven't heard Talk's music before, he's really good. He does kind of like he has a very country style voice and vocal training. But his production is very rocky, which just sounds kind of cool. So, Train by uh, Talk might be up there. Crap, what's his other one from his first EP? How Long, I guess, could also work from Talk. I don't know. I think it might be Train by Talk. I think that's going to be my pick. I could see doing something from the Rex, but again, they don't really have a lot that would work for that. So I think I'm going to select Train by Talk, which I would play for you, but I don't want to get copyright striked. Even though we do that every time when for the intro music. The intro music is like, hey, this is a copyright thing. Make sure you don't finagle it. Even and I don't care. All right, another question from Noah. Favorite uncommon fruit? I think the runaway answer for this is honeydew melon. It's just slaps. Better than regular melon. Almost better than watermelon. It's probably a top 3 fruit for me after like apples and actually I don't think it's better than watermelon. Apples and watermelon I think are my. I don't even know if my top 3 fruit would be. I don't eat enough fruit. I'm a college student. What makes you think I eat healthy? So yeah, but that rounds out the questions from the original, like from the Discord. So let's go over to Twitter now, where I asked for your questions and see what we get from there. Kelsey, who you guys would know as live studio audience, Brennan's day friend, says favorite and least favorite hockey jersey of all time. Favorites between a couple. Favorite is I think the Flyers' old home jersey that they just moved away from is actually really up there. I think it, in terms of best primary jersey of all time, I think that might take it. Um, Hartford Whalers throwbacks are always great. Uh, those would really be my top two. I could see an argument for, or not an argument for, but it's my favorite. So, Rangers away, I think, can make a case for it. Um, I think again the 2017 All Star Game uniforms, especially the yellow one and the purple one, I think are definitely up there for me. So those I could see. Um, Again, as much of jerseys I really like even the Blues home actually could be in that discussion. But none of that I would say are my favorite ever. Um, so I think it would probably be, it's between the Flyers home and the Whalers home for me. I can try bullshitting around it, but I think I'm gonna say the Whalers home just because they have a lot of sentimental value to me. Uh, like the Flyers home, I like. It's a very good jersey design, but the Whalers one, in addition to being a good jersey design, it's the last hockey game I went to with my mom was the Hurricanes' first Whalers night uh, jerseys night back in December of 2019. So they have a lot of sentimental value for me there. So I would probably say them. Um, all right. This one's topical as of a week ago, so we'll go to this one again from Justin. Top 3 Halloween candies. What you got? Alrighty. So number 1 in the rankings, far and away, is Reese's Cups. Anyone who says anything else in this is either a psychopath or allergic to peanut butter. And I'm not entirely convinced those are two separate things. Um, After that, though, actually, my number 2 is also pretty easy. It's 100 grand bars. If you've never had, I don't know how these things are so hard to get. Um, they are kind of almost like if like a Milky Way and Crunch bars had a baby, and then but the inside was also like more along the consistency of like those fancy chocolates you get for Valentine's Day. It's just those are really good, man. They had some in our break room at work today, and I low key took like 4 or 5 and chowed down on them because I don't get 100 grand nearly enough. I don't think I've ever gotten 100 grand in my life. I don't get 100 grand bars nearly enough. They are very, very good. Uh, so, and then the 3 spot becomes hard. I think there's some contenders. I think Snickers are a contender. I think Milky Ways are a contender. Um, there's other candy that I hesitate to call Halloween candy. Like if you've ever been to some I don't know if they have this outside of the Midwest, but if you go to a movie theater, they'll occasionally have chocolate covered cookie dough bites. Absolutely slap. Um, M&Ms, ooh, peanut butter M&Ms might be my number 3. I think I'm going to make that my number 3. Peanut butter M&Ms. The little pouches, king size, whatever. They all just any of caramel, peanut butter, peanut, or standard M&Ms, I will chow down in a heartbeat and eat way too many of. But I think if I have to pick one, I'm going to do peanut butter M&Ms for my 3 spot. So Reese's Cups, 100 grand bars, and then peanut butter M&Ms are my top 3 Halloween candies. When if you could go back in time to watch a defunct hockey team, who would it be, where, and why? Um, I mean, I guess the Whalers for the reasons I said for why. Ooh, no, because he didn't specify. I was asked by Steve Mark. Um, that you, my friend, did not specify NHL. So my answer is the Columbus Chill. I would absolutely go to uh, like as many. You never listed a limit, but like I would want to go to a lot of chill games, man. Those things sounded so fun. I kind of like they're instrumental in bringing the Blue Jackets to Columbus. I would definitely want to go to a chill game. I could see an argument for doing like the Roman theme night where they had Roman numerals on the back instead of like base 10 numbers for the players. I think that would have been fun just for the novelty of seeing that. I mean, basically any Columbus chill game would be my answer, but and it'd have to be a home game at Taft Coliseum. Like I think it's called just called the Fairgrounds rink now. I live like 5 minutes away from it, so uh, yeah, that definitely Columbus chill game for sure there. When are we getting the the JNHL 23-24 rankings? By that I'm assuming you mean like the advanced stats and shit I did last year. The short answer is when I have time, which we'll see when that is. I'll try to get some over my winter break, which starts in like mid-December. Uh, so we'll do the advanced stats then. And then, what's your hottest NHL and also just general hockey jersey take? Um. I don't know what you mean by that question. If you mean like NHL, like on ice take, or general jersey take. Um. So I'm gonna answer this both. Hottest on ice NHL take. I think there's no way that, and this is actually now that the Oilers are off, I was gonna say there's no way that the Oilers ever really realistically win a cup, at least with their existing roster construction. Uh, you can't rely on just McDavid, Draisaitl, and a bunch of dudes and expect like people are like, oh, they're cup favorites, and it's like, no, you have 2.5 dudes if you include RNH and I guess Evander Kane. Like you have like yeah, you have the two best players on the planet, and you have two solid players besides that, but you have nothing else. People who sit, and that's being proven this year because, oh boy, the Oilers are bad. But I want to give a different one from that. Fantilli over Carlson isn't really a hot take, and I'm not super convinced Fantilli. I was if you asked me at the beginning of the season, I think I would have said Fantilli wins the Calder over Bedard, but at this point, that's not happening. I got one. Quinn Hughes being traded to the New Jersey Devils would be a fantastic thing for the NHL. Just from a market, having the three Hughes brothers on the same team in a major market. I'm not saying Vancouver isn't a major market, but having those three together would be so good for the game. That would be an absolute force if the NHL was able to market itself, which it is not. So I guess that's kind of moot. General jersey take. The Islanders like 2011 through 14 alternate jersey is the one with like the arch text and the diamonds on the side are a logo swap away from being very good jerseys. I really like these. It's the diamonds on the side are fun. It's a unique design feature. I think if you just swap the logo to be an actual logo, like immediate, like that is a big ass stink bug that just made a very loud buzzing noise. Sorry. If you just like those are a couple subtle changes from being one of the better NHL jerseys in the 2010s. Like if you make the base navy and then have the striping be like gray with a thin, like the silver color they did, like a thin white outline and then a thicker orange outline, but like to keep the same striping pattern in general, and then have like an actual logo on the front. I might mock up a concept real quick and plop it in the top corner. It would legitimately be one of my favorite jerseys in recent NHL history. So I think those jerseys get a lot of hate just because of the arch word mark thing. I think outside of the arch word mark thing, they're actually really good. Not really good. The gray yoke is a bit weird, but they have a lot of potential. I don't know if I'm going to be able to top that one, to be honest. Yeah, I guess among Blue Jackets fans, I don't think the cannon should be in primary jersey. That thing should just keep that as alternate for the next 100 years. It is a perfect alternate jersey. A bit of issue with the gray bleeding into the vintage white color. But aside from that, perfect alternate jersey. You do not need to change it. So that's kind of a hot take among Blue Jackets fans. But anyways. 3 NHL teams that need a jersey rebrand. Back to your question, Casey Middlestat fan account. Again, I think the 3 you give, the Ducks, Capitals, and Kings, along with the Blue Jackets, are the bottom 4. It's just a matter of which one I think needs to be kicked out of the bottom 4. You have to have the Capitals in there, I think. I want the Kings and Ducks are frustrating because the Kings, they have enough, like if you just do a couple small things, they could have a very good set. Like just free the crown of the like weird baseball plate thing and add in some purple, and that is a fantastic jersey set for the Kings. And then the Ducks, I mean, I actually like their color. The Ducks have too much potential. I gotta give it to the Ducks as the third one. So your Ducks, Capitals, and Blue Jackets are my 3. I'm sorry, Chris Ramirez. Like, yes, the Kings need one. I agree. I think the Ducks, Blue Jackets, and Capitals are my main 3 that need it. So pending a refresh here, I believe that is all of the questions that got submitted before 7:37 p.m., what is the time it is now that I'm recording this. So thank you for watching the Jersey Nerds podcast, I guess. Thank you for listening. Let us know what you think of this, either in the Discord, if you're in the Discord, or in the comments. I know we don't really ask for that, but like this is something new for us, doing just a single person rambling for 45 minutes. So let us know what you think of it. Because we set out for this season at the beginning to try to do a podcast every other week, and so like if we want to do that, this might be happening a couple times. So let us know what you think. Thank you for listening, and here's the outro music.
Thank you for listening to the Jersey Nerds podcast. Check out our website at jerseynerds.wordpress.com to find the latest news, concepts, podcasts, and more. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at @the_Jersey Nerds, or just find all the links down in the description of the episode.